Hello and welcome to the space above us. Supplemental 5, Apollo 13 O2 Tank 2 Explosion. For the next subject in our regularly scheduled supplemental series, I thought we'd take a look at... What's that? You say it's been over 2 years since the last supplemental? No, that can't be right. See, the supplementals were supposed to be this thing where every couple of months I could add extra information that didn't easily fit into the main narrative of the episodes. It gave me the flexibility to get way into the weeds on something, provide outside audio, move forward and backward in the timeline, maybe even interview guests someday. So, you must be mistaken. Let's take a look. See? The last supplemental was... September 20th, 2017, with the Apollo 11 mission audio. Well, there you go. It hasn't been 2 years. It's been just shy of 2 years. Seriously though, sorry for letting these drop. Many of you who have taken the time to email me have specifically mentioned how much you enjoy these supplementals. The truth is that it's just tough to come up with the time for what amounts to an extra episode on top of the bi-weekly schedule of the main show. Time makes fools of us all. Today we'll be looking at Apollo 13, which we covered all the way back on episodes 42 and 43. The mission was notable for being a so-called successful failure. Partway into the mission, an oxygen tank ruptured, crippling the command module. Jim Lovell and Fred Hayes would not walk on the moon, but what followed was the stuff of spaceflight legend, with the 3-astronaut crew and thousands of people on the ground putting their heads together, thinking outside the box, and getting Apollo 13 home safely. Specifically, I'm going to play about 19 minutes of audio from the flight director's loop during the accident itself. The first 2.5 minutes will just be business as usual, but then O2 Tank 2 lets go and things go decidedly off-nominal. This might be a little weird, but since I don't have any other way to draw your attention to stuff in an audio format, and 19 minutes is a long time to pay close attention to scratchy audio, I've added a couple of little beep triplets before a few different events. Here's one now. Specifically, there will be some beeps like that before a burst of static, which is actually the moment of the explosion. I also added it before 2 famous Gene Kranz quotes and before Jim Lovell announced a pretty dire observation. If you find these beeps to be annoying, then I recommend checking out the original audio for yourself, which is easily available online. In fact, if you search YouTube for Lunar Module 5 As It Happened Apollo 13, you'll find the video I grabbed this audio from, which saved me from digging around in the original audio dumps. Lunar Module 5 actually went the extra mile and synced up an hour of audio with video clips from the ground and a simulation of both the attitude of Apollo 13 and the onboard computer. So if you enjoyed this, help me return the favor by giving their video a view and a thumbs up. Similar to previous mission audio clips, this is the flight director's loop, so you're going to hear a lot of people talking at once, both the crew and all of mission control. I know this is a little difficult to parse, but if you just fixate on one voice at a time, it's pretty easy to follow and gives you a lot more context as to what's actually happening. I also left in some relatively long silent parts in order to preserve the actual pacing. Anyway, I've talked enough, so let's get into the audio.
Okay, GNC, you got any configuration items here? Negative, flight. Capcom, looks like the last item we need here is a stir on the H2 and O2 at their convenience. Okay.
We've got one more item for you when you get a chance. We'd like you to stir up your cryo tanks. In addition, I have a shaft and trunnion.
Okay.
For a look at the Comet Bennett if you need it.
Okay. Stand by.
Flight guns. Go, guide. We finally got our Delta H update. Do you want to just read it up to the crew or uplink it? Let's see now. Can we collapse dead bands and do all that good stuff if we uplink here? Yeah. That's why we just read it up to them. If they enter it through the disky, are they going to do it? Stand by one. Yeah, we haven't stabled out in that attitude yet, so I don't think we're going to have any problem. Right, I don't think there's any problem. They haven't opened up dead bands yet. Yeah, that's just what I'm saying. The time to do it is now, guidance. Flight guns. Go, guidance. As long as he's in poo and don't reselect it, he can uplink it or enter it himself, or we can do it either. Doesn't matter. Okay. Why don't you got to pass the data for the crew checklist anyway on board, don't you? Right. Don't you got a page update? Well, why don't we read it up to them, and that'll serve both purposes. All right. Both have them entered, as well as why don't you tell them what page you want it in the checklist. Okay. Flight tell me.
Okay, we've had a problem here.
Overhead hatch is closed and the heater current looks normal. Okay. Flight guidance. Go guidance.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
I don't know what it was. Okay. GNC, you want to look at it?
Yes. Houston, we've had a problem.
Roger, we're copying it, Capcom. You see a
That'll
hardware?
be main bus undervolt.
You see an
Roger,
AC
main
bus
B
undervolt there, guidance? Or ECOM? Negative flight. I believe the crew reported it. We got a main B undervolt. Okay, flight. We've got some instrumentation flights. Let me add them up. Roger.
Okay, stand by, 13. We're looking at it.
We may have had an instrumentation problem, flight. Roger. Flight into. Going, Tom. We switched to
Okay, right now, Houston, the voltage is looking good. And we had a pretty large bang associated with the caution and warning there. And as I recall, main B was the one that had a amp spike on it once before.
Okay.
Roger, Fred.
Inco, you say you want the wide beam width there? Yes. Let's see if we can correlate those times. Get the time when you want the wide beam there, Inco.
In the interim here, we're starting to go ahead and button up the tunnel again.
Roger.
Do we have the floodlights off?
Yeah, that jolt must have rocked
yeah, we can determine that from
the sensor on, see now in O2 quantity 2, it was oscillating down around 20 to 60%. Now it's full scale high again.
Roger.
And Houston, we had a restart on our computer. We had a pink light and the restart reset.
Roger, we copied
Roger,
that
restart. And a ping's light. Restart on a ping and reset.
And I'm looking at our service module RCS helium 1. We have B as barber pole and D as barber pole. Helium 2, D as barber pole. And secondary propellants, I have A and C barber pole. P-mag temperatures. Okay, AC2 is showing zip. I'm trying to reconfigure on that jack.
Roger.
Econ, you were seeing any AC problems? Looks like we've got a lot of instrumentation problems there. Go ahead. Fern. He's flipping our fuel cells around, flight. Well, let's get some.
Yeah, we got a
if you got any better ideas.
main bus A undervolt now too, Sean.
Main A undervolt.
Si, what do you want to
It's
do?
reading
Hold
about
your
25
own
and a half. Main B is reading zip right now.
Si, have you got a SIG sensor type problem there or what? Flight Econ? Go ahead. He's got fuel cells 1 and 3 are offline. We've got main A volts. We have no main B volts. Have him attempt to
reconnect the fuel cells. Fuel cell 1 to main A, fuel cell 3 to main B.
Okay, fuel
Just
cell
try that.
1,
Back to main A, fuel
Number
cell
one.
3 back to main B.
main A, 3 to main B.
Let's see what happens.
Okay, now, do we have instrumentation problems?
Well, it does appear we've lost AC bus 2 voltage. Main B is reading 4 volts, and that effectively takes AC2 away from us.
Okay.
And he reported barber poles on the fuel cell on the R2 flight.
Flight
Let's see if we can get our DC back.
Right. Go ahead, GNC. Verify that the quad delta helium valves are open. Now, are you seeing an attitude problem, or are you seeing some bi-levels that are giving you problems?
No, some low pressures in the fuel oxidizer seems to be symptomatic of the helium valve closing and firing some jets.
Quad number 2, helium valve open?
Quad delta.
Quad delta. Helium valve open, right?
Right.
Capcom, do you want to verify that quad delta helium valve is open, please? Any other problems in the RCS? What?
Okay, is that all we come up with for him? We got any other recommendations?
Yeah, we wanted to get fuel cell 1 configured to main A, fuel cell 3 to main B. Did you pass that up?
Let's attempt that flight.
13 Houston, we'd like you to attempt to reconnect fuel cell 1 to main A and fuel cell 3 to main B.
Tied into that
Verify that quad delta is open.
We went to wide beam with flight at 5504, the best we can tell.
Okay, Houston, I'm showing, I tried to reset, and fuel cell 1 and 3 are both showing gray flags, but they're both showing zip on the flows.
I copy flight.
We copy.
Let me commiserate on that.
Is there any kind of leads we can give them? Are we looking at instrumentation? We got a real problem or what?
Flight econ?
Go, Econ.
Let's reverse the configuration request.
Okay, but wait a minute. We got a good main A bus. Let's make sure that whatever we do doesn't screw up main A.
Fuel
main
cell
A
2 is on main A flight.
Okay.
I'm not going to ask to change that.
Okay, what do you want to do?
Let's try to put fuel cell 1 on main B, fuel cell 3 on main A. We'll use the other sensing circuitry.
Fuel cell number 1 on main B.
Fuel cell 3 on main A. We're not going to touch fuel cell 2 flight.
Okay, but if we got any problems in the system, I want to make sure that we don't blow the voltage off main A, and then we're not going to be able to see anything. Can we review our status here, Si, and see what we've got from a standpoint of status? What do you think we got in the spacecraft that's good?
Main bus A is reading 25 volts.
Okay, main A.
And that's reflected by the fact fuel cell 2 is putting out 53 amps, which is just about the most it can, and keep our voltage up.
Okay.
So that's bona fide. AC bus 2 is 0, which is reflected by the fact we lost main B.
AC bus.
Standby flight.
0 output.
Flight econ.
Go ahead, Econ.
Okay. If we want to keep...
Okay, Houston, are you still reading 13?
Standby.
That's affirmative. We're reading you. We're trying to come up with some good ideas here for you.
Go ahead. I was going to ask you to put a battery on flight.
Okay, let me give you a reading in the interim to help main A voltage jack. I've got bus AC.
Say again,
you
Fred.
want Omni Bravo?
Right.
In the interim, to help out main A voltage, I've got main bus tie bad AC on. How would you rather accept the
You don't think we're
25
going to be able to
volts
get
that we're
adequate
seeing on
data
main
here,
A?
do you?
Okay, bust IAC
We're
on.
ready. We've got the 210.
You got the 210.
Right.
Okay, that'll save a bit of power. Capcom, let's recommend selection of Omni Bravo, please.
It's Charlie now.
Okay,
He's maneuvering.
Charlie.
Omni Charlie?
Right. Affirmative.
13 Houston, we need Omni Charlie, please.
You got it?
Okay, Fly, we got Omni Charlie and high bit rate.
Okay. You have high bit rate now off the 210s, right? On the
Right.
Okay.
Flight Econ.
Go, Ecom.
Okay, let's get a readout on a couple fuel cell pressures here.
Okay.
Fuel cell 1N2 pressure. Fuel cell 302 pressure. We're reading 0 N2 pressure in fuel cell 1 and 13 psi on fuel cell 302 pressure.
Okay, you want fuel cell 1,
N2 pressure.
N2 pressure. Fuel cell 3, what do you want there?
O2 pressure.
O2 pressure. Capcom, let's get those as a start.
13 Houston, we'd like you to verify a couple readings for us. We'd like the
when this hardware race started,
nitrogen
he was
pressure
doing a
on fuel cell
cruise
1.
maneuver, and
We need the
Ed could have
oxygen
killed
pressure
it,
on
but
fuel cell
we're
2.
still moving. Maybe he ought to stop it.
Are we using RCS now, Buck?
Okay, nitrogen on 1 and oxygen on 2. Is that correct?
Negative oxygen on 3.
Okay.
PNC from flight. PNC from flight. PNC. Did you see any problems in quad D helium valve? Does that look like that's cleared up?
Roger, that's cleared up, Flight. We're in good shape.
Okay. Now, are we using RCS now?
That's affirmative. We're going to have to switch some thrusters over to main A to hold attitude here.
Okay. How much RCS we use?
Oh, we've used...
Okay, system test 1A.
Okay, give me a minimum fuel usage configuration that'll keep me attitude.
Right. Like telling you,
Go tell me.
the LEM heater currents become essentially static.
Right. Let's solve one problem at a time. Come back to me later on in it.
And 2 Baker, which is 3 oxygen, says 0.6.
2 Baker says 0.6, and say again the other one.
Fuel cell 1 nitrogen reads 0.
Roger, 0.
We confirming those numbers?
That's good.
Buck, I need that RCS stuff as soon as you can get it.
Roger, Flight. He's turned off all jets now.
Okay.
Okay, we came up with those numbers, Flight.
Okay, Si. Give me your next best thing to try. Ecom. Flight.
Flight Econ.
Go ahead.
Why don't we try leave fuel cell 2 alone and just make sure that 1 and 3 are disconnected from both buses, and make sure that there's won't be any load on them at all. And let's see what happens to those cells.
Okay, Barrett, what do you want to do? Open circuit fuel cell 1 and 3?
That's from flight.
Okay. Capcom, let's recommend we open circuit fuel cell number 1 and number 3 and leave fuel cell number 2 as is.
Okay, 1 and 3 open circuit 2 as is, and earlier got a report from them that 1 and 3 were reading gray but 0 flow.
Yeah, Capcom, let's amend that. Ecom from flight.
Flight Econ.
Why don't we just open circuit 1 and make sure that we don't have any problems getting that back onto the bus?
Okay,
Just
fine.
watch it for a while before we make any further moves with 3.
Roger.
Okay, Capcom, let's just open circuit 1 of those right now.
13 Houston, we'd like you to open circuit fuel cell 1. Leave 2 and 3 as is.
Okay, I'll get to work on that.
And Jack, our O2 quantity number 2 tankers reading 0. Did you get that?
O2 quantity number 2 is 0.
That's AC, okay.
Roger.
Yeah, that's because of AC. And it looks to me, looking out the hatch, that we are venting something.
Crew thinks they're venting. So
We are venting something out into space.
Roger, we copy your venting.
Copy that.
It's a gas of some sort.
Okay, let's everybody think of the kind of things we'd be venting. GNC, you got anything that looks abnormal in your system?
Negative lights.
How about you, Ecom? You see anything that, with the instrumentation you got that could be venting?
Okay, fuel cell 1, you just wanted off the line now, Jack, is that right?
We just wanted you to open circuit fuel cell
right?
1.
Okay, she's off the line.
Let me look at the system as far as the venting is concerned.
Okay, let's start scanning. I assume you've called in your backup Ecom? Ecom?
Flight, say again?
Have you called in your backup Ecoms now? See if we can get some more brain power in this
We
thing?
got one here.
Roger.
Flight in, go.
Go and go.
Never mind. He says he knows a little bit.
Okay. Okay, now let's everybody keep cool. We got the LEM still attached. The LEM spacecraft's good, so if we need to get back home, we got a LEM to do a good portion of it with. Okay, let's make sure that we don't do anything that's going to blow our CSM electrical power with the batteries or that will cause us to lose the main or the fuel cell number 2. Okay, we want to keep the O2 and that kind of stuff working. We'd like to have RCS, but we got the command module system, so we're in good shape if we need to get home. Let's solve the problem, but let's not make it any worse by guessing.
The thing that really strikes me about this audio is just how calm everyone is. The 1995 film Apollo 13 is excellent, but their job was to make the events dramatic, so they definitely cranked up the intensity a bit. If you didn't listen to the words that they were actually saying, it would almost sound like these guys were just debugging a router or something. But that's what it takes to get through something like this with an intact crew. When lives are on the line and it's up to you to deliver on your part of the mission, it's best to stay calm, cool, and collected. And as Kranz said in the clip, work the problem and don't make things worse by guessing. I've learned not to make grand promises about this sort of thing, but as I've gotten into a sort of rhythm with the shuttle flights, I am hoping to do these supplementals more often. If you have ideas for stuff that you'd like to hear about, shoot me an email at jp@thespaceabove.us. I'm not going to promise that I'll get to every suggestion, but I'll at least consider it, and I'd love to hear from you all. Ad Astra. Catch you on the next pass.